Hello, 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 ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Masks: A New Generation. The game in particular here is Halcyon City Defenders on CharismaToAC. So, welcome to the show. I am your host and game master, Daniel, and I am joined today by all my lovely friends and fellow superheroes. I am joined by Joan.
Hello.
I'm joined by Brain.
Hello.
I'm joined by Rasmus.
Hello.
I'm joined by AJ.
Hi.
And I'm joined by Thalmid.
Hello.
So everyone,
The
how
only
you been?
two normal hellos.
Despicable.
Darn normies.
Yeah, I know, right?
Alright, so so if you are just tuning in, and like this is the first session you're seeing of this superhero stuff and wondering what's going on, my bit to you, my suggestion for you would be to go back and watch the earlier episodes and follow us in our journey through this thing. Because right now we're at session what? Like this has to be around
7.
Is it 7?
No. Isn't it? Is it?
Yeah.
Might be. It might be.
Alright, cool.
You sure it isn't 8?
It's thereabouts.
Well,
So
At least the last one on YouTube is numbered 6. So
we're at session approaching 10. So welcome to the show if you're new. But all the same, even whether you are new or whether you have been following us all throughout these teenage superhero journeys, we will be doing a brief recap of what's been going on before we get back into the swing of things, and we'll get reintroduced to the characters. So, hot potato, anyone. Who will tell us what happened last time?
We fought, then we fought each other, then we fought each other some more, and then we fought a pissy mom.
As certain 80s musician would have us know, love is a battlefield.
Oh, I like that song.
and nothing else happened.
All right, so to paint a picture in a bit more detail, if I remember this correctly, when we began our last session, you were in fact engaging a war droid, a Death Knight war mech sent by the love of your life, Joan, Diamond, your best friend ever, Colonel
Yes.
Van Halen.
Yes.
Who had been sending this robot to kill your friends and to take you captive.
Yes.
Mostly the latter. After defeating the war mech and in the process destroying most of a art museum, but hey, who's keeping score? Aside from public officials. You then amsgrade and hunkered down for some well-deserved group talk and R&R. Which quickly spun out of control into some inter-party shenanigans and some bad vibes were flying around. Especially sparks were flying between Diamond and Vigil, respectively our bull and our legacy.
Bull.
Yes, our legendary bull. Do you want to ride the bull? Sorry. After that. There was an encounter between Nightshade and Vigil, in which Vigil passed the mantle of leader, in as much sense as he's able, at least. That depends on, does Vigil decide who's leader? Does the group decide who's leader? We don't know, but Vigil made a gesture, at least, to Nightshade, that, here, have the mantle of leadership, I'm not fit for it. And she didn't really take your opinion on it. It was just here, have a responsibility. You don't you're in short supply of those anyway. Whereupon he went to see one of your old friends that we established in the very first session. Your former teammate Mark Nielsen, who was a beacon on your team. He was an acrobat and an archer, who had been injured in your first ever fight as a group, which turned him paraplegic.
Paraplegic,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Unless he's a paralegal.
No. And found him wasted out of his mind on some kind of meds from a subholding of Graves Industries. And he quickly grabbed his friend and brought him to a hospital, and there he was charged with kidnapping by the deputy mayor of Halcyon City. Ugh.
Well, strictly speaking, I think he was charged by kidnapping or with kidnapping by the police on the instigation of the mayor.
Yeah, something along those lines, right? This is a situation of adults in power flashing legal nonsense in your face and being like,
yeah. Oh, my only point is if it was the actual mayor or deputy mayor who did the charging with a crime, we've kind of moved from the partitioning of power into an autocracy.
Yes, that's true, and well put too. But yeah, the situation, of course, in terms of Vigil, is that you went peacefully. You were put in a paddy wagon, and you're presently being driven downtown. That is still in process. Meanwhile, while that happened, the rest of the team who had caught on to this event happening went to his house or your sanctuary, in the hopes of like removing any stuff that might implicate you and looking for your mother. And they found your mother, who then told all of you. I say all of you. I think Starlight, you were left at the arcade, being asleep. But yeah, telling all of you that like you have to go and like save him. She cannot do it because she's been ordered not to by the Elder of the Order. And upon being pushed and like you laying into her for essentially being like a shithead,
being a shitty mother.
Bad mother specifically, yeah.
Sparks were flying once more. This time between her and between Diamond, resulting in Diamond doing a very well argued, but also very poignant pushback against an attempt from Pala, the mother in question, to exert her influence over you, in which you
convinced her I wasn't a child, and she chose to behave childishly.
Yeah, you
throw you through a fucking wall. Yeah.
Yeah, the issue, if I recall correctly, it was a question of you acting to prove her wrong, and you proved that you were like not a child. You should not stay out of this conversation. You are an adult, and you should be treated as one. And in doing so, you are like also threw out a
Whoa, sorry. I sneezed so violently, my headset almost fell off. Whoa!
And in doing so, a couple of choice insults were levied. That then basically caused her to flip her shit and send you through a wall and into a nearby lake. And where we will be rejoining you is basically in that situation. Gesundheit, poor girl. What is wrong?
I sort of imagine the very first shot we see is actually Diamond sinking toward through water with air bubbles coming from her mouth, looking for all intents and purposes like she's unconscious, and then just her eyes shooting open, and that red dot from one of her eyes narrowing into almost like a laser focus, and the next image is her rising out of the water, flipping her head back to get her hair out of her face.
T-9000ing your way out of the lake.
Pretty much, yes.
All right.
I'm thinking the next shot should be, it's like over the shoulder of Pala looking through the hole in the wall towards the lake.
Yeah, I think so too. But before we start painting, before we get out our painting tools and start artisting our way through a comic book, let us quickly revisit our characters and just run through the basics. What playbook are you playing? What conditions have you marked? What your labels look like? And what relationships are you throwing around? And Yeah,
let's relationships.
Let's do that. We'll start at the top with Diamond.
Right. Well, there's a slight change from what I believe we recorded at the end of last time with what we spent our rather I reached enough potential to take an advance, and after consultation with you in the meantime, that advance has in fact changed. So my labels are Freak of 2, Danger of 3, Savior of -1, Superior of 1, and Mundane of -2. And do you want the moves as well?
The moves aren't necessary, but you can tell us what you took for your advancement.
Yeah, that's the thing. I took instead of locking Vigil permanently out of influence and taking an increase in labels, I instead changed that to a new move, which is the one that's called "You've Got a Head You Don't Need," and it means that when I provoke someone with obvious threats and shows of force, I roll plus danger instead of plus superior.
It's an amusing choice of move, in my opinion, because last session literally featured both you making threats and you punching the head off a thing.
Mm-hmm. I thought it was sort of fitting, all things considered.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. At the moment, I have no conditions,
right.
Which is obviously all right.
What's your bull's heart?
My bull's heart is Starlight as a friend, as my love interest, but it's on a friendly level. And my rival is that remains Vigil, and he's there as an enabler, basically. So if I provoke him, I use plus danger to provoke him.
Nice. This is good stuff. All right. Anything else you want to throw at us? Any details about the character?
Don't think so at this point. There is that one thing that I've got. I've got those two. What is it called? Push, or what is it called that I can use towards Vigil? I've got two. Two specific influence attempts against him.
Right, and you got that for using your team move last session.
Yes, I did.
In which you. What did you do there? Let's remember. That's right, you shared vulnerability and weakness with Vigil, and in doing so, you now have 2 hold.
Yes, that's what it's called, 2 hold.
And those are basically like you versus Vigil specific team points.
Yes.
Okay, so that's how they work.
Yeah. So, cool stuff. Next up is Finn, aka Vigil. Tell us a little bit about yourself, sir.
Well, I'm playing a legacy playbook, and recently I have been arrested. I'm now a villain, apparently. Playing a villain.
No, you're a misunderstood hero.
Oh,
yes. You're
the anti-hero,
superhero.
Yeah, I need to start breaking them fourth walls. Yeah. Okay. My labels are Freak 2, Danger 0, Savior 2, and Locked, Superior -2, and Mundane 2.
All right, cool.
And recently I acquired my 4th advancement, and that was to take a move from another playbook, and move is called I Don't Care What You Think, and it's from the Delinquent playbook. And it's what it gives me. It's whenever you reject others' influence, add +2 to your roll.
Sweet.
Ooh, nice.
Delinquent is rocking some really sweet moves, so digging into those is filling me with joy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and my relationships, some of them are semi-resolved. But yeah, my first relationship is you once got caught doing something that shames your legacy with Starlight, and as we established before, this is my attempt to help Starlight by using the power lake of the Vigil Order. They were spotted. He got caught. She escaped. Another one is you trust Nightshade and told him the important secret of your legacy, and that was the secret about the Sorin the Shamed, the traitor of the Order, who we fought semi recently. Yeah, and I also possess a sanctuary that is being currently demolished.
Yep, that is a thing that is happening in your absence. Sure. Okay, cool stuff. So that's Vigil. Next up, we have Nightshade. Tell us about yourself.
Nightshade is a Janus, however you want to pronounce it. Currently, I have no conditions. I am apparently the now impromptu leader of the Defenders. As far as relationships go, White Sparrow knew me from my civilian life first, and I refused to tell Vigil my secret identity when he first asked. And I think it was last session or the session before, I unlocked drives from the Beacon playbook as one of my advancements.
Yeah.
And so my 4 drives currently are make out with a teammate, tell someone your true feelings for them, kiss someone dangerous, and stop a fight with calm words.
By the way, Vigil is still waiting for that makeout. Come on.
Yeah, I think we all are.
Oh, yeah, come on. Give the fangirls out there something to drool over, please. For God's sake, get it on,
This will be the jailbreak makeout session, all right?
We're playing teenage superheroes, okay? Like, everyone is waiting with bated breath for the queer fiction. This is something...
Indeed.
Yeah, get it on, guys. Get it on. Let's give the rest of us fair warning so we can look away.
All right. Anything else? Yeah, there's definitely something else. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your responsibilities, Mr. Janus?
Yes. Yep. My responsibilities are, I have a job. I'm a barista at a coffee shop. My schoolwork is another obligation. And I also have a social obligation, who is my best friend, Daniel Thornton.
Sweet. All right.
And I believe last session all went well, except for I inadvertently kind of shunned my best friend. So I don't think we've seen the repercussions of that yet.
We have not, but it's very true that happened. All right. Anything you want to bring forth about your relationships or something else?
There's the Monica chick.
Oh, yes. And then Monica.
That's true.
I'm going to date a supervillain.
She exists. That's a character that I made. All right, cool. So we'll maybe see more of Monica.
Well, let's face it. If he manages to actually get it on with her, he will probably reach the kiss someone dangerous goal fairly easily.
Yes, that is absolutely a thing that will happen if that happens.
I'm guessing that make out with a teammate and kiss someone dangerous doesn't really apply both of them at once to a teammate, even though we are kind of dangerous.
Yeah, there is definitely the argument that like a teammate could be dangerous, but they're not supposed to be the same thing, I think.
Yeah, it's probably dangerous to him.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Well, so... that could be Starlight when she's blowing up.
That's true. So
or Diamond.
Speaking of Starlight, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, Go?
Hello.
Hello. Can you hear us? We might have a breacher. You are muted presently in case you're trying to talk to us. That could be a thing.
Okay.
Yeah, so it seems like maybe she's doing something that's noisy. So why don't we temporarily just skip further on to White Sparrow and we'll return to Starlight?
Yes, 'tis I, the Sparrow of White. I forgot what you wanted me to tell you.
Oh, just basically like run down your labels, any conditions, and give us a general look at your character.
Alright, for labels, she has Freak -2, Danger -1, Savior +3, and I'm locking that whenever I get the chance, Superior +1, and Mundane +2. She has no conditions. She is nearing her first advancement on the Doom track, so that's interesting.
Yeah, that's true. What advances your Doom aside from me?
What advances my... Oh, that's actually relevant. I don't think we've covered that before, perhaps at the beginning, but... When the frick did I put that? Oh, I know talking about it advances a doom.
It's talking about it and injuring innocence, I think.
Yes, I just didn't remember if you had to pick 3 or 2. But yes, talking about it advances it. And injuring innocence, or I don't know if that's a specific wording of it, but
Let's see what it is exactly.
yeah.
So it's just so we're clear. Let's see. The doomed.
It might become relevant.
Yeah, it might. So in this case, it's injuring innocence.
Or it is specifically injuring them.
Yeah.
So I can, I don't know, be as nasty to them as I want. I just can't injure them. Not that I want to. She has influence over Nightshade Vigil, Samuel McGee, that was difficult to say, McGee, the substitute teacher, although only a sparrow, Starlight and Diamond. I have influence over the entire team. That's nice.
Very influential little savior.
As for relationships, she has the only one she's told about her doom is Starlight, and she, of course, then immediately swore her to secrecy. She would love to kiss Nightshade before she is doomed. And as Nightshade said, she knew him before he donned the mask. She also has the advancement Come On Lucky, which gave her a pet sparrow that she made herself that can help her with certain moves, being Defend, Unleash Your Power, and Comfort and Support.
Sweet stuff. Cool. I think that's it. So let's see if we have AJ back with us. AJ, are you with us? You're muted presently in case you're trying to answer that.
She did write that she just received guests.
Oh, yeah. She did, didn't she? Yeah, so...
I assume that would be a roommate coming to say, "Hi, I'm home."
Yeah, that's probably what it is. So someone knocked on her door and announced. That's fine. We'll just go straight into it, and we can do a running introduction of AJ and Starlight as we go.
I think Starlight is not actually present in any of the scenes. So
yeah,
she was out cold last time.
Yep.
So very tired.
Let's rejoin our characters then. So when last we left is we've been going over that, and I think as we do when we open this, whatever, the 7th maybe issue of Masks. Once more, we don't know what's on the front page, but the very first page of the actual comic we open on is an entirely black page. That is like a little bit of like turning a bit dark bluish on top, then becoming just black as you recede down the page. And yeah, as Joan described, we see air bubbles like in the midway of it, and then in the bottom there is like a kind of a grayish silhouette of a sinking diamond. And yeah, we flip the page to like a step by step, like getting closer and closer in a series of close-ups, and then the T900 red dot eyes snap open, and we see Diamond like start emerging out of the water. Cut to on the shore of this particular lake, where we see backlit by the headlights of a pickup truck shining through a building and through the broken facade of the building. We see Palla, Vigil's mom, standing like arms crossed, looking angry. But
yeah,
what else is new? Yeah, go on.
I want to shout at her.
Sure.
I really want to shout at her.
And I totally want to let you do that. However, I also want to recognize and give some space to your teammates who last session were like, "I want to engage with this situation." And I was like, "No, curtains."
Let them. Yeah, let them definitely do that.
So
I mean, I do need to get to the surface as well, so that's fine. It's no problem.
Yeah.
So as I wrote earlier, I had kind of a plan, but it's easiest to trigger when I guess, defending someone. So why don't you start?
Yeah, the question is like, what are your characters doing, right? I'm
Okay.
gonna put the light on the two of you. What just happened was a venomous exchange between Diamond and Palla, whereupon you felt a shift in the room when Diamond pushed the right buttons. After which, Palla grabbed Diamond by the scruff of her coat and sent her through the wall and into the lake. Now with little bits of wood breaking off and like falling to the floor from the splintered facade of this log building. The two of you like basically standing essentially like a little bit behind Palla, but not by a lot, right? She's moved out of the building and like is standing on the porch. Or I guess like the veranda or whatever. What do you do? Post teammate being thrown through the wall.
I think we see like a panel of probably White Sparrow and Nightshade both being like having a horrified looks on their faces.
Yep.
And then Nightshade like stands in front of Palla. Is like, what the hell?
So yeah, you jump in front of her. She like, no, of course notices you stepping in front. Her body posture doesn't change, right? She's physically looking like she's locked down, and she looks down on you, not lowering her head, and says, "Get out of my way."
No. You realize by hitting her and throwing her through the wall, you've already let Diamond win. This is stupid. We need to focus on getting Finn back and stop fighting each other.
So when you say that, she has an immediate, like, you can see her having a reaction to that, where everything you are saying is basically just washing over her and doesn't matter. But when you say, like, we need to get Finn back, she has a start, and she, like, looks at you with, you can see kind of anger in her eyes, right? So she's like, oh, now you want to help him.
Yeah.
Yeah, Palla, because someone has to. You're not angry with Diamond, and you're not angry with us. You're angry with yourself, because you've been fighting your entire life to make the vigil better, to break the rules and make it better. But when it comes down to it, when it's your son on the line, you're too afraid to break the rules, too afraid to be Palla the Shamed, that you can't do it. So if you want to hit someone to feel better, then you can hit me. Or rather, you can hit you. And Sparrow transforms into Palla.
Ooh, cool.
Ooh, stings. All right, that's cool stuff. So I have a question for the two of you, because this is a sharp 180-degree turn from what we talked, like the conversation you had last session. Last session was all about, we can't do anything, right? Like, we're just gonna have to sit here and wait for everything to sort itself out. But now you are sounding like very proactive. Now you're basically speaking her language and being like, yeah, we need to go and help Vigil. I want to know, like, what is that a shift of opinion that you hold to be true? Or am I just hearing that, but you're actually saying something else?
Who are you asking?
Both of you.
Sparrow is very definitely telling Palla, get your act together. You're his mom. You need to do something.
All right, and not Vigil, Nightshade?
After seeing and hearing like Palla say she can't do anything and then punching Diamond, yeah, he definitely thinks, well, now it's up to us because no one else is going to do anything.
All right. So in that case, you don't actually have to make a roll here unless there's something more you want, Nightshade, because you're basically telling her, yeah, we're gonna do this thing you want, which she's fine with.
Yeah.
There's a difference, however, in what you're doing and what White Sparrow is doing, because White Sparrow, you're scorching her, and I am very much getting the sense here that you want to provoke her to actually do something, right? You want. It's my impression that you want to shake her out of the miasma of, like, I need to adhere to the rules of the legacy that she's walking in,
Yes.
and instead, like, rebel.
Yes. That's what I want to do.
Right. I think you're in a position to do this, right? She is emotionally vulnerable. So, why don't you you throw a provoke at her and we see if it sticks.
Oh god, when I get back to the surface, I'm gonna ruin all of this.
So provoke that superior, right?
Yeah, you roll plus superior, unless you have a move that changes that.
I have no moves until I get more Doom Track stuff. Well, I have Come Unlucky. Do I get any bonuses or penalties?
No. Not unless you have something marked that would give you that.
A full hit.
Nice.
Ouch.
Sweet. That is
Let's
such a
see.
good roll. Okay, so when you do a full hit on a provocation against an NPC, they rise to the bait and do what you want. So we see you saying this, and when you say it, it clearly and visibly hits home. It's not like a case of you saying something and her being like, "Oh yes, I see your point." It is a case of like her very strong facade like visibly cracking. And I think she does the like hand over her mouth, trying to restrain a sob thing. We see like a picture of her doing that, right? Like holding back a visible reaction. And then as she's having this reaction, I want to like talk back to you, but I also want to give Diamond space when she emerges from the lake. So if you have something you want to interject before we see the extent of Pala's reaction to this, you feel free to interject.
Yeah, you see, of course, coming back to the surface, Diamond hasn't really heard this otherwise brilliant exchange. So she comes back up and she's livid because she's just been thrown into a lake through a wall. She's not in the world's best of moods. So she gets up there and she just stares towards Pala and snarls in her direction. So, is that how you respond to being challenged on your skills as a mother, you third-rate excuse of a woman? Why don't you come out here and I'll break every bone in your body?
So when you say that, you might you probably, I don't know, expect her to behave the same way she has been and being like what you say.
Yeah, I'm trying to provoke her.
Yeah, but when you look upon her, she seems entirely different. Like you're looking at a different woman, which is probably weird to you. But she seems to be like distraught for some reason.
Yeah. Yes.
And of course, before we go hog wild with the misunderstood crisscrossing, because it's fun, but I want to give your teammates room to try and diffuse the situation you're trying to instigate, if that's what you guys want. You guys see your teammate emerge from the lake and then hurl a couple of insults and inciting a fight, as Pala is like basically processing what White Sparrow laid on her. What do you do?
I think Pala Sparrow makes a nod with her head at Nightshade towards Diamond, like, go do something.
Right.
Attend to the situation.
Yes, and then I think she steps in front of real Pala and puts her hands, on her shoulders and looks at her kind of, I would say, sternly, but also with determination. And she imitates Pala's voice as she says, "You can do this. You have been fighting to better things, and you've always known there would be consequences. Now's the time to show that you're strong enough to face them. Help us help your son."
Sweet. All right. Yeah. This is You don't even have to roll. You have successfully provoked this reaction in her. However, let's cut to Nightshade for a second, as this follow-up support is happening. We focus on Nightshade, probably stepping off the veranda and approaching the lake behind the house. As you see Diamond like emerge.
Yeah, that's exactly what he does. He just calmly like hops off the veranda, walks and calmly and stops in front of Diamond, looks at her and says, "It's over. We need to go help Finn now."
We're letting her win?
Nobody's winning. It's a loss until we get Finn back. Then it's a win.
Very slowly, you see the red in Diamond's eye. The light vanishes, and she cracks her knuckles and she looks at Pella and says, "Yeah, because your son is a better person than you are. So we'll get him back, and I don't even like him."
So
I think Nightshade like puts his hand on Diamond's shoulder and it's like, "Okay, come on."
I want to quickly, like, just for a second here, applaud that line you dropped there. Like, it's a loss until we get Finn back. That is a straight up comic book line. Like,
that is an awesome line.
Yeah.
Nice.
That was like so on message. That was good. I enjoyed that thoroughly. Not that I'm not enjoying the rest, but I want to compliment that one. All right, cool. So you abstain from your further incitement of this throwdown.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I need to roll anything to show her my absolute disdain for her as a human being.
Hell no.
There is. I mean, a blind man could probably see how little Diamond thinks of this creature.
Yeah. So like we definitely have like the exchange of looks, right? Like of Palla, real Palla, not Sparrow Palla. Like wiping the beginning of a tear from her eyes and like looking at you, and there's that exchange of looks of you just looking like disgusted, and her looking. Yeah, I don't know the right word. It is not entirely discernible what look she's sending you, but it looks to be like a look of, like, there's still some anger left in there, but there is definitely also like a hint of regret.
Resignation, maybe.
Yeah. And I don't. So the funny thing here, like to you as players, is that Palla's reaction to having you hate her is not like poorly received, because she is actually not about you liking her.
No.
This is something that she may not want, but it is up her alley in terms of what she would use on people. So your message is clearly received, right? We as the viewers of the comic book have no doubt that the gauntlet is still very much on the ground between the two of you.
Oh, hell yes, it is. And there will be more blows.
Yeah, and I think that's actually,
there will be more blows.
That's probably the description of her look that I was looking for to get, is that when you look at her, you see the look of a person looking back on you who is very much about that, like, yeah, that's okay, like, I accept that challenge, you and I are gonna throw down, but also like focus elsewhere. She's been successfully convinced of that. So what now for the lot of you? Like, is that where we end that scene for you, or are you gonna like do you want to have a quick spat before we cut to the rest of the group?
I'm curious if to know if Pella does anything else.
I think so. Her reaction to this is unless you consider it part of a provocation that she engages with you about it, is to look resigned to what you're saying and basically like suck it up and exchange a look with you, whereby you can clearly see that, all right, we're doing this. But do you want to would you rather we draw her to conversation?
No, that's all. That's fine. Then I just wanted to know if she actually was going to help us.
Yeah, absolutely. I consider that part of your provocation here. There was
yes, that was the purpose of it. So I just wanted to make sure.
She not only backs down from the fight for now and focuses on getting her son back and being happy that you lot accepted doing this, but she's also going to defy her order and help you out.
Good.
So Daniel,
yeah, what's up?
Does that mean I stopped a fight with calm words?
You totally did.
Woo!
Nice.
Time to get a new drive.
At the very least, you participated in stopping a fight. So, yeah,
it counts. It counts.
Yeah, I'll definitely give you that one.
And I would personally say that yes, he did explicitly stop a fight with calm words, because if he hadn't said that, Diamond would have continued the fight.
It's good stuff, and that's a good point. So, next up, I think we cut sideways for a moment and join White Sparrow. If AJ is with us now. AJ.
You mean Starlight?
You mean Starlight, right?
Sorry, yeah, my bad.
I don't play White Sparrow.
Yeah, that's a good point. Hi, AJ. When we did a character introduction, I think you were dealing with some unforeseen guests.
Yeah.
All right.
How dare they?
So in that case, would you mind giving us a quick introduction of White Sparrow and where White Sparrow's labels are at?
No, not White Sparrow.
I'm sorry. I don't know why. Of Starlight. Thank you. I'm gonna get this right. Of Starlight and her labels. Before we go into a scene with her.
Are you sure you don't want to fangirl over White Sparrow some more?
No. Let's leave White Sparrow in the other scene and instead focus on Starlight.
All right, if you're sure. All right, Starlight is the Nova. And she is currently a freak of 3, danger of 2, savior of 0, superior of 0, mundane of -2.
Right, so you feel absolutely different.
Yeah, and she currently has 3 conditions, because the poor girl gets nothing but conditions. So she's angry, guilty, and hopeless because yay!
Sweet. Also, I believe that you've basically unlocked every flare in your playbook, haven't you?
Yeah, she is the flairiest of all the flares.
Very nice. All right, what is your relationships?
She is basically Ric Flair.
Yes.
Stop.
At least I hold influence over all my teammates.
Sweet.
She's an influential little shit. And her relationships are that she hurt Sparrow because she's not a fangirl.
Mm-hmm.
And Finn tried to help her. And Sparrow confided in her after she hurt her, and she realized this is not a real person anymore.
All right. Very cool.
And she hangs out with Nightshade.
Doubly cool. All right, sweet. So, Starlight, when last we left you, you had gone to sleep on a bench in the arcade that is one of your temporary stomping grounds, and when you wake up after a brief stint of shut eye, which has lasted it's basically just been half an hour of power napping. You feel also I need to quickly change something. I need to put 2 team in the pool. There you go. Sorry. You feel as you wake up a bit more rested than not at all. You feel this this little spark in your chest of the well-known feeling of your power and of being able to internalize and touch it. And you realize that the stop you had put in the proverbial water pipe of your powers to prevent you from exploding the museum has waned to a point that you can now once more remanifest your abilities. However, as you wake up and then like rub the sleep from your eyes, the first thing you notice is that a TV is on, playing what appears to be like a newsreel update of Vigil being arrested outside of Halcyon City General.
And I'm completely alone.
Yeah, there's no one here except you and a TV telling you your teammate is under arrest.
Well, that's where the others probably went. I need to go there and help them break him out.
Alright, cool.
And then she gets up and starts, heading for the place they hold people like that.
Alright.
At the arrest.
It's basically just like a picture of you looking at the TV, realizing you're alone, and then like looking determined as we cut forward to you. I don't think we cut forward to you doing something. I think the next thing we cut forward to is to Finn rumbling forward in a paddy wagon somewhere downtown, approaching the lockup. And
that took more than half an hour?
Yeah, I think traffic is pretty intense.
That's right. Even if you have to go one block, it's faster to do that on foot or by a bicycle.
Yeah, there's like some of the roads are like fucking being blocked off, and they have to take another way around because like some supervillain and some superhero are throwing down on the like direct course and has caused a bunch of gridlock. So police are redirecting traffic.
Right, I keep forgetting supers are a thing.
Yep. All right, so we just basically have a couple of panels of you, Finn, like sitting in the paddy wagon, these like flimsy standard ass handcuffs on your wrists, and we like you looking at them when we probably like everyone looking at this like strip realizes that these handcuffs are literally meaningless. Like they do nothing.
They're just for show.
Yeah, this is a you are under arrest gesture, not actually a method of restraining you. And the two police
run away.
The two police officers sitting in the paddy wagon with you have a look as if they kind of realize this, but are also okay with, like, you seem cooperative, so they're just like, well, maybe this is gonna go okay, and just not like visibly that nervous. And I want to know, like, if you say or do anything, or if it's just like a couple of panels of you sitting in quiet before something happens.
Definitely, it's like just he doesn't have anybody to talk to, really. Well, there is nobody in that paddy wagon that he wants to have a conversation with.
Mm-hmm.
At least on the outset. And I suppose what we've just seen is just like the frame of the paddy wagon, but on the outside is like on the outside of the frame is like collage of the just like a flashback collage of all the things that led up to this, of like the conversations.
Oh yeah, there's probably like I almost,
and basically that's like a representation of what's going on in his head.
Yeah,
he just looks deep in thought.
So I want to know, like, in the terms of all these pictures we're seeing of you, like, thinking about what led up to this point, how prominently does the picture of Mark from the last issue, where we saw his face and he was like clearly out of it, like, how prominently does that image feature? Like, how important and on your mind is that?
I would say it's kind of the biggest picture in the middle, but on the other, like on the outside, they kind of formed this like weird gem broken glass structure.
Yeah.
But like in the middle, like a centerpiece is definitely the picture of Mark, or like, but not Mark as he was, like as he seen him yesterday, but like maybe like a picture of like him smiling, and maybe in his superhero outfit.
Yeah, definitely. And like,
Yeah.
we can't see the entirety of the picture, but he has like both his arms to his side and clearly over the shoulder of what is respectively Starlight and you.
Yeah.
Like, we can see Starlight and Vigil's shoulders like halfway in the picture, but he's like the center shot. Just yeah, sure, definitely.
Yeah, and we might have some flashback of that that night when the accident happened. Some like vague pictures, because we are not doing like full flashback of the situation, but like just like those stylized emotional moments.
I get you. Yeah, like with the way we see it painted is like the allusion to what might later be a full-on flashback.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So yeah, there's just like this series of pictures of you looking like very somber and dealing with the situation, and then there is a and then we cut to the outside of the truck as it's moving forward. Like there's just like a single car moving in front of it, like police escort, sirens are blaring. As we see Starlight intercept the car as it's moving forward. Starlight, where do you appear in the frame of the situation? Are you perched on a rooftop, or like are you standing in the middle of the street, or are you like arriving from somewhere? Like where do we see you? How do you enter the frame?
Well, firstly, she's wondering why the hell he went with them in the first place, because he would be able to. And I don't think this occurs to her before she's actually standing at the side of the road looking at the cars. Why did he go with them? He could just run.
Yeah, like it's not like they could stop him.
Exactly. That just occurred to her now with a... wait, why did he do this?
Right. So you see the paddy wagon and the escort like moving forward slowly as the cars in front of them are doing the... I don't know if you've ever seen cars in gridlock move, but it's this stuttering like, and we go forward by 10 meters and then we stop. And then we go forward and then we... Okay, now. Like it's this fucking like herky-jerky movement.
Highway queuing.
So basically she wants to know why. And how do you know? Well, she just moves to any place she wants because she has that flair, move. Spend one burn to move to any place you choose within the scene.
All right.
So she's gonna move directly into the car and sit beside him.
Okay, let's have you roll for that, because naturally manifesting your powers in this way is interesting to us, as it has been known to backfire.
I basically have to roll plus conditions to make a burn, right?
I don't even actually think I want to have you roll for that. I think there's nothing interesting to be gained from you not getting in. It's more interesting like once you get in, then what? So we see you charging up, and then you vanish and like a flash of Starlight, and suddenly like inside the truck, inside the paddy wagon, Starlight appears in a brief shimmering flash next to you, Vigil, and the two police officers sitting in there are like, well, wait, what is... And then they suddenly realize, like, what's going on, right? That's like the 2 seconds of, wait, what? And then they like start fucking scrambling, and like one of them is like has a shotgun at rest at his shoulder that he's like just suddenly like whoa and like fidgeting with, and it's like slipping out of his hands, and he's like trying to pick it up and like get it in the direction of Starlight. So suddenly the inside of the paddy wagon is awash with sudden movement as your teammate appears from nothing, apparating into the moving wagon. Then what happens?
What? Well, Starlight doesn't really know what the issue is, because they basically just had one of the ones they were searching for show up in their own fucking paddy wagon without having to find them. So she just waits for them to calm down a little. Just sitting there, not moving, because she's pretty sure if she starts moving, they'll go crazy and start shooting everything. So she just sits there with her hands up with a, I'm not doing anything.
Oh,
Like this, Finn might just like jerk a little, just like like just stuff.
Accidentally snapping the cards. That could be funny. What?
Oh, no. Oh.
You have a sudden
like,
start and punch your feet through the bottom of the car and into the asphalt. Just, whoa!
just doing my best Fred Flintstone. No, he's just like you know, he just has a bit like, well, he furrows his brow. Is like, what are you doing here? Like he's seemingly ignoring the policeman.
I think
the ruckus going on.
I think the comic is ignoring them too, right? Like it's the focus on the shot is the two of you sitting on a bench, and like just in the periphery there are like these little tiny speech bubbles of "Get your hands up! Get on the ground! You're under arrest! What are you doing?" And, like,
Well, Starlight is sitting nicely on the bench beside the film with both hands up in a "I have already given up" manner and looking over at him. I imagine all you can see in the shot is the little lines that signify that the car is actually jumping around because there's a lot of movement.
yeah.
She's just looking at him. Why did you follow them?
Because it's the right thing to do.
Why did you kidnap someone?
It was the right thing to do.
It's a long story. I would, considering the circumstance, and he just gives a quick glance around the room. It's like, I would probably advise you to come around to the police station instead of here, because I think you're causing a bit of a commotion.
And now we like the comic book acknowledges the police again, so we have like an over-the-shoulder picture of the two of you having a conversation in the foreground, and then like the loaded barrel of a shotgun and like a police issue sidearm like pointed in your general direction, and two cops looking agitated, occupying the middle ground.
Yelling the standard New York beat cop thing.
They're saying something.
Get on the ground! Get your heads up!
They're painted as visibly shouting, but they're not acknowledged with the speech bubble, right? There's like we infer what they're saying. It's not important to
it's like what those big letters in the in the background that are not actually a speech bubble, just like big colorful letters in the background.
Yeah.
And our speech bubbles are like over it.
Yeah.
I just imagine before she went into the car, there were no stars in the corner of the screen. She went into the car, now there are 5 because it's really weird.
Yeah, I think you suddenly like jump to a 3-star rating, like from nothing, just a boom, there we are.
Yeah. Hello.
A little mini map on the corner is flashing red and blue.
So, last question. Who did you abduct?
This is such a
Did she not want
such
to
an odd
date you?
word. Such an odd word.
Well, you could just.
I wouldn't use abduct. I would use, well, like I said, like, listen, Starlight, I would love to talk about this, but I don't think that's kind of the place for it. I'm already kind of in the predicament, and with all the respect and with much appreciations you showing up, but I don't think you're making my case better.
Sweet. All right, so I think that is.
Starlight sighs deeply, pats him on the shoulder, flares a little, and before she leaves, she just looks at him very seriously. You don't abduct people you want to date. Come on. And then she poofs.
So I'm okay with you doing that, but I want to interject something before that. I want to suggest that we hold it when you're saying, like, I don't think you're helping me, like when Vigil is saying that, right, you might be, the situation might escalate or whatever, like you just said. At that point, I think I just want to, like, end, like, that's the bottom of the page, And before we turn the page, let's have a quick break because I want to give the others the option of ripping the roof off the paddy wagon as you say that. So
I don't think you're helping my case.
Yep.
Oh fuck. Okay.
So let's call it here. Let's grab a brief break and then we'll be back with more masks. Just we'll be right back.